friends, how are you? I hope everybody's well. I'm just going to get into it for time's sake, and I think I'm gonna actually make the videos and just compress them all into one, so it's not one continuous video. But I want to show you how I made this lovely little micro mini journal. And this is what you're going to need for this project. You need 2 pieces of chipboard at 2 by 3 and 1 piece of chipboard at 1/2 inch by 3. So you're going to need these 3 pieces of chipboard, and you're going to add your double-sided tape or whatever adhesive you want to use. If you're using wet glue, you might want to wait. If you're going to use double-sided tape, you can go ahead and tape that now. You're going to need 1 sheet of 4 by 6, and this will be the cover for your chipboard pieces. And you'll need 1 sheet of paper of 5 3/4 by 9 1/4. And on the 9 1/4 inch side, you're going to score at 1 7/8, 3 3/4, 5 5/8, and 7 1/2. And then when you get to your scoreboard, you're going to rotate it once over to the right or to the left, it doesn't matter. And you're going to score it down the middle at 2 7/8. Once you've done this, you don't want to fold it right now. What you want to do is you want to take this piece and you want to cut it in half. Now you can do it with however you want to cut it. I'm going to use my trimmer, and then I'll continue from there. Okay, and what you want to do now is you want to add your chipboard pieces to the cover. And I like to just do a trial run to make sure. I've done this so many times that I know it's going to fit on here. So that's what this is going to look like. I am going to remove my tape backing on all these pieces, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so what I've done is I started placing my chipboard piece, the 2 by 3 first. Then I added a piece of 1/8 inch score tape here just to give me a gap. You don't have to use tape to do that. You can use something with the similar width and just put this here, and then just you can add your spine piece and butt it up against here so that you have an even space on both sides. It's easier for me just to put tape on it, but you know, use what you have. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to put this last piece, and I'm just going to butt it up against the tape. I'm sorry if I come out of screen a little bit, but just put it up against the tape. Make sure it's even, and go ahead and place it. Now I miter my corners, and we've talked about this before. Mitering my corners is just to eliminate space. If I eyeball it, I'm going to screw it up. So I'm going to use this little ruler I got, I don't know how many years ago, at colorwayarts.com. You don't have to get these tools. I need it. I get it out of necessity, because if I do this, I'll cut it too short, and then you'll be able to see the corner of the chipboard through the cardstock, and I don't like that. And if you want more detail on how I'm doing this, I did make a video on a cover. It's way down in my feed somewhere, but I do show you how I make the covers. And that's what I do with this. And then I am going to add adhesive around the sides, and then I'll come back and I'll show you the finished look. So I added adhesive all the way around on all 3 sides, and I am going to put, I'm not going to add adhesive here just yet. And so I like to remove the backing from the top or the bottom. I like to do the long pieces first, and then I'll bend over on here. And I'm going to actually remove the center tape, which I kind of forgot to do, but I'm going to do that right now. What I use is I like to use an X-Acto knife to get the lift it out and then pull this out. I'll usually pull it out before I fold it over, but I got a little bit ahead of myself. Remove the backing on this and go ahead and fold it over. And so now I have these pieces here, and then I'm going to tuck my corners in so that I get those nice crisp edges. And this is the beauty of using that little tool, because I know it's going to be covered in it. The chipboard will not be exposed. I'm going to go ahead and remove the backing on this, fold this over, and now I have these beautiful cornered pieces. Same thing here. I remove this backing here. And this is craft paper, so it's a little bit thicker. And there you go. Okay. Now we're going to take our 4x6, well, never mind, this was my 4x6 piece. So you're pretty much done with the cover. I am going to just slightly bend this here and just kind of fold it, and slowly. You don't want to do it too hard. You don't want it too fast. You don't want to crack your paper. So this is your cover, okay? See, corners are nicely covered. They're not exposed. The chipboard is not exposed, okay? This is sticking out a little bit. I don't like that, so I'm going to come in with my scissors very carefully and just snip that little piece off. And so now it's clean, okay? Now to the second piece, the accordion fold, and that video's coming up right now. So this is the 5 3/4 by 9 1/4 piece that I cut in half. Again, you can use your trimmer or you can use your scissors, whatever you would like. I went ahead and used the scissors. Now, I trimmed off just a little bit more than, it's just a little piece overlap, and I'm okay with that because these accordion folds are kind of tricky. They're not always even, and I'm good with that because I'll be matting it with paper. And so now what you want to do is go ahead and you're gonna fold on your accordions, on the lines, on the score lines, and this is your time to be able to make it even. One up, one down, one front, I should say, and one back. Okay. And then this is pretty decent, so I'm going to go ahead and burnish this. I'm going to do the same with the other piece. One up, and it really doesn't matter which way you do it. If you have a preference, by all means do that way. And I really don't have a preference. And so fold. And so I don't want to burnish it until I'm happy with, it's pretty even. And then I'll go ahead and burnish. So you should have 2 pieces of paper. You can probably visualize what's happening now, which is great. And then you're going to take your other piece and you're just going to overlap them and adhere them. Okay. Now, what you do want to keep in mind is what you're going to do is one piece. This flap needs to be to the right because this is the one that you're going to use to pull. You can create a pull tab if you want. That's fine. That's whatever you'd like to do. But the top flap needs to be facing to your right. Okay. So I'm going to adhere it like this. And for this, I'm going to use my wet glue because it'll give me a little bit of wiggle room and I'll be able to maneuver it a little bit. And so I'm going to go ahead and, I don't want to go too close to the edge because I don't want it to spew out. So enough to give me some wiggle room there. I am going to place it up against the other piece so it's not over the score line but just below it, and it's even on top to bottom, and I am good with that. And I'm going to burnish, and there is your accordion. Now the next easy part is this flap here, you're going to attach here. I don't want to do that just yet because I need to decide what I'm going to put here, what cardstock I want to use. So this one here is going to cover this piece here, but I don't like this piece of paper showing here, so I need to figure out what I want to do there in that spot. But you would adhere this to this, and that's your book. Okay, it's that easy. And then you can go ahead and add your magnets. You don't need to add magnets, but I like it to close as flat as possible, leaving this part up so that you can grab it and pull. So on this one, I think I used 3 or 4, 1, 2, 3. I used 4 magnets on this, and I use it like on every other one. And you can just put one, I have one here, so then I matched it with this one, and then that one sticks to that one, and so forth. Again, options, you don't have to, but I like how it stays closed. And that's how you create this lovely little micro mini. Super, super easy, wonderful for using your scraps. That's how I made this piece here. These are all scraps. Aside from the 5 by 9 3/4 piece, because I needed a bigger piece, aside from that, everything else is scraps. These chips were from my scraps. This one was from another scrap, the 4x6. And so there you go. The leftover pieces that I used to cut this 5 by 9 3/4 is this. So this you can use as a belly band if you don't want to use a ribbon closure. It's kind of hard to show because it's not cemented. I mean, it's not glued down. You can trim this in half and use a belly band if you want. You can make a pull tab if you want to use a little pull tab from this. Just cut a little piece. If you have a tab punch, you can use that. You don't need to have a punch if you don't have one. You can just glue 2 pieces of paper together and you can use that as a pull tab. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Or if you want to, you can, before you mat your little book, is go ahead and punch a hole through here with a crocodile if you have one, and then you can add eyelets on here on both sides, and then you can add ribbon closure if you want. You don't have to glue it. If you're gonna do it this way, this is the time that you would do it. You would put it here first, and then you would put your design paper on top. On something flat like this, I recommend that you do use a flat ribbon. You don't want like a cord type, something that's round that's going to create a bump. You want something flat. So this little gingham one works just fine, and I got this at Hobby Lobby some time ago. But here it is, my micro mini album, a 2x3. Great gift, great little piece to accent your bigger books or your bigger projects. Use up your scraps. It's a great way to use up your scraps. It won't stay close. I'm gonna just leave. And there you go. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys, and I've missed you. Just been a little busy, and I thought I'd get this in before I take off again this weekend. May you all be blessed. Until next time, thank you.